Hi, well, I'm not sure how it's coming out on the screen. I was sorry for the delay, but I was trying to get my phone to rotate into portrait or into landscape rather than portrait. So let me know how it's actually coming out on the screen now. And we'll get started on this theory paper as soon as we have some images. Yeah, it's still going in portrait, so I'm trying to possibly rotate device. These are the technical problems of, okay, is that working? Ah, if I do it like this, but you don't want that, do you? Okay, maybe we could try it in portrait. Give me 1 second. This was not the plan, but it'll work. Okay. Right. Now you can all see, right? Hopefully that will be a clear picture. And we'll just make it a little bit lower so you can get close to the actual image. I do apologize for the little technical hitch there, but hopefully that is big enough to see the whole page. Let's just tighten up the tripod. There we go. And now you have a whole screen showing, hopefully. Maybe a little bit too close. Just come up a little bit. This is the joy of live streaming. Right, I think that is a good picture. That's about as good as we're going to get. Okay, so we're going to go through this past paper here. Excuse me that it is in portrait, not in landscape, but that'll do. So, first question, and I want your help in answering these questions today because we're going to do this together. Okay, so we have Dylan and Ladybird in the chat at the moment. Anyone else who wants to join in and help with the answers, you are welcome. Okay, so first of all, it says, circle the correct time signature for each of these bars, okay? So in the first one, we have an option of 9844 or 78. Notice that a lot of the questions are in like a multiple choice format, okay? Because the new ABRSM theory exams are now done online, and it's very difficult for you to actually write answers actually on the printed sheet. You have to just choose the correct answer. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyway. So someone thinks it's 9/8. Well, let's add up the quavers that we've got there. Okay, we have 2 quavers to a crotchet there. 1, 2, 3. So that's a group of 3 quavers. 1 quaver and 2 pairs of 2 semiquavers. There's another 3. And there is another 3 there, which makes 9/8 time. Correct. Okay, the second one. Okay, so a double dotted quaver. Okay, so a dotted quaver is 3/4 of a beat, and that is 7/8 of a beat, or of a crotchet. We don't know if it's a beat yet. And then there's another 1/8. So that is basically 1 beat. But there's a little trick here, okay? If you see a note group joined together with 1 beam, that usually is a beat at a time, okay? And then next, we have a quaver and 3 triplet semiquavers. Now, a triplet is 3 in the space of 2, so that counts as 2 semiquavers, all right? 2 semiquavers and a quaver make another beat. Then we have a semiquaver and a semiquaver rest, and another quaver, there's another beat, and then a single crotchet at the end. So, Pewish Samuel Egbert is saying 4/4 time, and that's the correct answer. Okay, now for part C, again we have quaver, 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 so there's 3 quavers there, then 2 more quavers there, and this is a triplet group. So again, that's in the space of 2 quavers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7/8 time. That's correct, Ladybird. Well done. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, okay? And it says, here is a bar in compound time. Which of the following shows the bar above correctly written in simple time? Now, generally, any groups of notes that make a group of 3 quavers, when you go into compound time, will need a triplet sign. Now, you can see here there's a triplet sign, triplet sign, triplet sign. Okay? And here also a triplet sign, triplet sign, triplet sign. Here is not, so it's not that one. Okay? Because you need a triplet sign on the second group. So what's the difference between these two? Here you have a dotted crotchet, and here you have a single crotchet. Now, a dotted crotchet is the beat in compound time, whereas a normal crotchet, rest, is the beat in a simple time signature. So the answer would be the second one, B. All right, the second answer. Well done, Ladybird. It seems like you are going to be getting all the points today. Okay, now, part 3. Complete the following 2 sentences by adding a number to each. In 6/16 time, I don't know if you can see it clearly there, 6/16 time. Okay, there are so many dotted quaver beats in a bar. Now, a dotted quaver is worth 3 semiquavers. Okay, and 6/16 is 6 semiquavers. So you would need correct Puish Samuel Egbert. You can't see. It's about as big as I can make it because I've actually put the sheets pretty much filling the whole portrait screen. Okay, so there are actually 2 dotted quaver beats in a bar. Okay? And then a breve is equal to how many crotchets? Right, well, a breve, one of those with double lines on them, is equal to 2 semibreves. And each semibreve is worth 4 crotchets, so there would be 8 crotchets to make up a breve. So that's the first page done for us. Next, tick one box to show which bar is grouped correctly. Now, in 9/4 time, you need to group the notes together 3 crotchets at a time. Okay? So basically 1, 2, 3 crotchets would go to there, there and there. So all of the first beats, well, they're all exactly the same on those. Now, in the next bar, generally we keep semiquavers together in the same group. So these 2 would both be correct here. That's not so good to split the semiquavers in the middle of a group of 4 semiquavers that make a crotchet. Okay, so it's between these 2. Now, 1, 2, 3 crotchets is a group. And 1, 2, the third crotchet goes right through the middle of that semibreve. Okay, so the first answer groups things together 3 crotchets at a time. You want 1, 2, 3 in a group, 1, 2, 3 in a group, 1, 2, 3 in a group. And that fits. There's 3, and obviously a dotted minim is 3. Okay, so it's this one. And then put a tick or a cross in each box to show whether the rests are correct or incorrect. So first of all, we have 3 beats in a bar. This little group here, dotted quaver and a semiquaver makes 1 beat, 1 crotchet. Semiquaver, semiquaver, quarter, quarter, half. Okay, that makes another beat, and then there's a 3rd crotchet at the end, so that is actually correct. Right, in the next one, now let's look at this triplet first. Okay, it's looking like the triplet is going from this crotchet to this rest here. This quaver would be joined to that quaver to make a beat. These 4 semiquavers would be another beat. So this group here, okay, needs to make the 3rd beat. Now to be that, you'd have to have 3 triplet quavers. That makes a beat. The crotchet would be 2 of them, and the rest needs to be a quaver, not a semiquaver. So that one would be wrong. All right. And then, okay, Piyush is saying tick, cross, tick. Let's have a look at the last one. Okay, this one looks a little bit easier. So you've got a crotchet, and then semiquaver rest, 3 semiquaver notes make another crotchet. So 1, 2, 3 beats is a tick. So you're correct who said tick, cross, tick. Okay. Let's move on to the next section. Let me just try and keep these pages still so they stay in the view of the camera. And we're going on to pitch. So tick 1 box to show the name of this note. Okay, now middle C is on the 4th line here. Okay. Now, someone's got some questions there. If you want to ask a question about a particular question on the sheets, you'll have to say which one, because with this being live, I'm not sure exactly which question you're talking about. Anyway, so if you just put like 2.1 or 2.2 or 2.3, if you've got any queries and you've got it in the chats, then I can be more specific about the questions we're talking about. Right, next. So if that's a C, okay, and then you go down A, F, D, the bottom ledger line would be B, and then below the bottom ledger line is A. Okay, it's an A. Yes, and both of you got that one correct. Now I can see that we have 2 people that are basically trying to answer the questions, but there's about 10 people in the live stream now, so some of you are just being a little bit shy. Have a go, all right? Next, tick 1 box to show the correct N harmonic equivalent of this note, the note E. Right, now D sharp is not an E. F flat, if you go down a semitone from an F, because there is no black note between F and E, F flat is an E. An N harmonic equivalent is the same note but just written differently. Okay, here is a bar, 2.3 now, written for clarinet in A. This bar has been transposed down a minor third to be at concert pitch. There are some mistakes. Put a tick or a cross underneath the key signature and any note to show whether it is correct or incorrect. So first of all, what is the key signature that has 2 sharps? Okay, it is, well, let's say D major. Or you could think of it as B minor, but let's call it D major because it's going to work out exactly the same. Now, if you're going to go down a minor third below D is B. And B major has 5 sharps, so that key signature is wrong. There should be an A sharp there. Okay. The next note, D, goes down to B. That is correct. The next note, B flat. Now, because this has been lowered by a semitone, when you transpose, you also have to lower your note by a semitone. Considering that it was a G sharp from the key signature, then that is lowered by making it a natural. So that's correct. The next one, A. Now, if you lower this one, well, if you transpose this one, you just go down a third without worrying about anything else. The key signature will take care of it. So basically, if you've got the right key signature, and for the F, it is the right key signature, it's an F sharp, all right? So the key signature will take care of any transposition. The only exception to that is if you have accidentals, like this one, the B flat to the G. So F sharp would be the correct, but that would be taken care of by the key signature. And then likewise, this E, when you transpose it, key signature takes care of it. That is a C sharp. So that's correct. Now, let's see. Someone said wrong, wrong, correct, correct, correct. Wrong, wrong, correct, correct, correct. Not quite, Ladybird. And then Piyush Samuel said cross, tick, tick. Cross, tick, tick. cross tick. Yes, so I'm just going to call you Samuel because that's the easiest name to pronounce. So Samuel was correct in that one. Okay. Now, 2.4. Compare bars A, B, and C, and then circle true or false for each of the statements. So, A and B are the same pitch. Well, that is the E flat above middle C, and that is the E flat below middle C. So, that's incorrect. That's false. B is one octave lower than C. Okay, now this is the E flat above middle C because middle C is on that middle line there. And this is the E flat, as we just said, below middle C. So this one, well, B is an octave lower than this one. Okay, so that is actually true. I'm assuming the rest of the notes are correct. I mean, you should, I suppose, check everything else, but going by the first note. Now, C is an octave higher than A. Right, again, this is the E flat above middle C. This is also the E flat above middle C. So they are actually the same pitch. So that is not true. That is false. Okay, and Ladybird is giving us false, true, false. False, true, false. That is correct. Okay, right, let's move on to the next sheet. Right, so which is the correct key signature for B major? Okay, now some of these look really weird. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, they're all in the wrong order, so that is completely wrong. Okay, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, should be an A sharp at the end, so that's wrong. Okay, then F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, they're all the right letters, so that one is correct. Didn't look at the first one. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and then you go down for this one. So the A sharp would go down there. It's the right letters, but on the wrong pitch. Okay, so now E flat minor. Okay, sometimes if you just look at them, you can see something looks out of place. Look at this. That just looks out of place. All right. Now E flat minor, okay, starts with a B flat. So B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat. Okay, that one looks good. Here, B flat would start there. So the first one's out. Okay, that one's out. And then again, here, that is not a B flat. B flat is down there. So that one's out, leaving us with the bass clef there. Okay, and Samuel again saying the second one is the correct one. Right, circle the correct key of these three melodies. So here we have just an F sharp. Okay. Yeah, it's grade 5 theory. That's the title of the video. So, okay. Anyone got to give me an idea? G minor, D major, or F sharp major? 3.3a. What is the correct answer to this one? It's quite an easy one. It's just got an F sharp. Yes, Samuel, it is G major. Okay, the next one. We have an F sharp and a C sharp, which might make you think it's in D major, but then there's also an A sharp. So, which of these in part B? Not D major, because D major doesn't have the A sharp. It has the F sharp and the C sharp. It's B minor. Well done, Samuel. Okay. Right, next. Now, we have a G sharp, we have a D sharp, and an F sharp. Okay, so the F sharp and the G sharp could be A major. And the C sharp there. Okay, so F, C, G, D. Just waiting for someone to suggest a possible answer. A major, G sharp minor, B major, or E major. E major is correct, Ladybird. Well done. It's that one. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to 3.4. Tick one box for X and one box for Y. Okay, to show which notes are needed to complete the scale of B flat harmonic minor. So, harmonic minor raises the seventh. So if you have no key signature, you don't really have to write any naturals. All right, normally the seventh note of B flat minor is an A flat in the natural minor, and when you raise it, it becomes an A natural. But since there is no key signature, A is the correct note. Okay, now next, Y. Any takers for this one? Okay. What is the sixth note from the bottom? B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F. The next note in B flat minor will be one of these four. I'm just waiting for someone to maybe suggest an answer, and then we can work out. F flat would not be correct because you've already had an F. You can't have two of the same letter in any scale. G flat is correct, Dylan. Yes, G flat there. Okay. Right, let's move on. Circle one clef for each of these scales to form the minor scale. Now, really, all you've got to do is look at the first note. Okay? But, what is the scale? It doesn't tell you what the scale is. So, there is a flat and a sharp. What minor scale do you think we have here? It's got possibly a flat and a sharp. D minor, that's right, Samuel. So if that's a D minor scale, what clef would be used so that that note there, or that one at the end, would be a D? What clef are we talking about? It's a bass clef, yes. Let's put it in, all right, or there. Right, now, next one. We have, that could be an F sharp, it could be a D sharp, or it could be, let's have a look, treble or, okay, so that would be C, if that's a C, that would be F, that would be an E sharp, if it were in alto clef, or if it were in tenor clef. Okay, what is the scale do you think we're in? It starts on a sharp. You could say F sharp minor, could you? Right, so let's work it out. F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp. If it's melodic, possibly. Does it say? No, it doesn't say it has to be a harmonic. So it could be a D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, yeah. It could be F sharp minor. Could it also, though, be C sharp minor? C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp. That wouldn't work. So yeah, it's going to be F sharp minor. All right. And which clef, I've almost said it now, would be F sharp minor? What clef are we talking about? Just waiting for someone in the chat to actually join in. Bass clef, yeah, it's another bass clef. Seems surprising. Okay, now we have two flats coming down. Okay. I'm suggesting that this might be a melodic, because otherwise we'd see something raised here if it were a harmonic. So a melodic coming down, B flat and E flat possibly. What key is B flat and E flat? No, it's got to be a minor scale. You can't have B flat major. What is the relative minor of B flat major? No, it's not B flat major. I'm just looking in the chat, see if anyone's got any ideas. Yes, Ladybird, it is G minor. Now, in which clef is this note and this note a G? This is actually quite a tricky question. Much easier just to write the scales out yourself. F. Well done, Samuel. Okay, so that's a treble clef. Okay, circle true or false for each statement. This is the correctly written chromatic scale beginning on C. So let's just go through it, all right? It starts on a C. That's a good start. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. That seems to work, okay? And then this is a correctly written chromatic scale of E flat. So E flat, D, D flat, C, C flat, B. Now there's a problem here because C flat and B are the same note. Yeah, so that one doesn't work. All right, that's supposed to be maybe a C flat, B double flat, but then everything goes out after that. So that's just wrong. Okay, without going too far down the scale. As soon as you see one mistake, you know it's wrong. Okay, now circle true or false for each of the statements below. This is the leading note of B major. That is true. The subdominant of A minor. Now, subdominant is the fourth degree of the scale, and the fourth degree of A minor is D. That is not a D, so that is false. And this is the submediant of F sharp minor. Right. Submediant means the sixth degree of the scale, and the sixth degree of F sharp minor is D. So that one is true. Okay. Any questions? It seems like everyone's happy with that. I'm not sure, you keep writing true and false in the chat, but unless you specific which question, I can't really understand which part you're answering. You have to be, if you want to give me answers, just say 4.1A or B or something like this. Okay. Now, which is the correct interval here? Okay, first of all, it's more than an octave, so it's going to be a compound. Okay. Now, or, well, 11th could be more than an octave as well. They're all different ways of saying the same thing, aren't they? I prefer to use the compound way of describing intervals, but we'll see. So we've got from B to E. Okay. Let's have a little look. Right, B to E. Now I prefer to think of that as a fourth. Right, B to E is a fourth. And we know that unless there are any other accidentals in this key signature, that's going to be perfect. So it's a compound perfect fourth. There we go. Right, next one. G to D flat. Anyone want to hazard a guess at that one? 4.1B. G to D is 5 notes. G, A, B, C, D. But what sort of fifth? It's a diminished fifth. That's it, Samuel. Okay, fifth. And then we have a bottom F up to a G. So that is one step more than an octave. Now, if it weren't an octave, it would be a major second, but it is more than an octave. So in this case, it's an octave plus a second, and that makes a ninth. That's correct. So again, we have Samuel giving us a ninth. Yeah, a major ninth. Okay, now compound major second. Well, yes, it is a compound major second, but that isn't one of the options there, so we have to go for the ninth. Okay, right, next. Circle the type of circle the type of each interval. So first of all, we have D up to F. Now, don't worry about the fact that it's more or less than an octave. D to F, we know, is A major, minor, perfect, diminished, or augmented. What answers do we have for 4.2a? Yeah, it's minor. You don't have to say third. I mean, you're correct. It is. Well, it's a compound minor third, to be really precise. You said it's a minor third, but it's more than an octave, so it's a compound minor third. But they're only asking for major, minor, diminished, or augmented, or perfect. Okay, next one is a B flat. Watch the key signature, okay? B flat up to D. Now, in the scale of B flat major, G is the sixth note. So if it's in a major scale, it is a major interval. There we go. Right, now let's go to part C. If you want to put your answers down for part C, just say on the chat 4.2C, okay? We have F sharp to E flat. This is a little bit trickier. With ones like this, sometimes it's better to go from a scale that you know. So from F to E is a major seventh, because E is the seventh note of F major. So from F to E flat, it becomes a minor seventh. And then from F sharp to E flat becomes a diminished seventh. Now, did anyone get that before I did it? Yes, Audrey said diminished. Okay, that one there. Okay, now, write notes to form the named intervals. Your note should be higher than the given note. All right, so above. Right, a compound perfect fifth. Well, a perfect fifth would be G sharp, but if we've got to make it compound, it's going to be the one octave higher. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do this on the online computer exams, but there we go. We'll find it out. Unless anyone's done one before, and they could put something in the comments below. All right, it's a G sharp, but it's the one an octave higher. Right, minor seventh. First of all, a major seventh is in the major scale, so the seventh note of B flat major is A. So if you want to make it minor, just reduce it by a semitone to A flat. Okay. So you actually drag the notes onto the stave. And that's clever. Okay, now an augmented twelfth. All right, some people prefer to use the phrases compound, but it seems like you've got to have to use augmented or compound. So an octave from that is C. So there's an octave, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a G of some kind. Okay, but what sort of G? If it's augmented, now in this case, C to G would be perfect. So to make it augmented, we need a G sharp. Okay, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then a minor third above G. Okay, so in G major, the third note is B. That would be a major third. To make it a minor third, we just add a B flat. Okay, let's move on. We are 39, no, I'll stop at late starting, so under 39 minutes into this video. And 34 minutes. And how much have we got to go? Because these papers, I think you're allowed about an hour and a half. And we're doing really well. Okay, indicate suitable chords for the two cadences in the following melody by writing either 1, 2, 4 or 5. So, we've got to decide the key first. And that, it seems like G major. All right, it's the first and the last note of the piece. The key signature agrees, so we're in G major. So the first chord here, we have A, C and E, and that's a passing note. We just call that a passing note, right? So A, C and E. What chord in G major makes the notes A, C, and E? Let's see if we've got some answers coming up. Are you giving me the super... Okay, now people are giving various different answers. So Ladybird, you've given me maybe all 5 in one go. We'll see. So you're going for 2 for the first one. That would be correct. Now, the next one, we have D and F sharp. Okay? F sharp. So what chord in G major has a D and an F sharp? It would be chord 5. That's correct, Ladybird. The next one, we have B, another B, G and D. Let's put those in order. If we put the B in the middle, G, B, D makes chord 1. Then, that's just a passing note. We'll ignore that one. So C, E, another C, and a G at the end. C, E, G, nice little triad of chord 4. And again, Ladybird, you got that correct. And then the last one, B, D, and G. Going from the bottom, G, B, D, that's chord 1. Okay. Now, the next one is to name the cadences. So first of all, we need to work out what the last 2 chords are. This is in D major. That is the dominant chord because A is the dominant note and that's a chord of A major. All right? So that's chord 5 and then it goes to chord 1. What is the name of the cadence? Imperfect, plagal, or perfect that has the progression 5 to 1. Can anyone name that cadence? Perfect. Well done, Audrey. Okay, moving on to the next one. Here we have a chord of B flat, D and F. That's chord 4. And then chord 1, F, A, C. It's in F major. F, A, C is F major, right? Chord 1. What is the name of the cadence? That is the progression 4 to 1. Again, Audrey, you're going for plagal, and that is correct. Okay, now, name the 3 marked chords in C minor. Okay, so here we have C. Let's do it over here. So this is chord A. We have C, G, E flat. That looks like a chord of C minor, but the bass note is a G, which, if you put it in order, let's put it over there, that is the second inversion, all right? Second inversion of chord 1, so 1C. Okay, then the next one, we have a chord of, all right, let's work out the letters individually. For chord B, we have A flat, C, F, and another C. We'll forget that. Now, if we put those in order, bottom to top, to make a triad, you've got F, A flat, and C. That is chord 4, but the A flat's at the bottom, so it's 4B. And have we got that option there? Good. It would be a problem if we worked out the chord and the option didn't exist, but it does exist. Now, here's a little trick. Any time in a minor key you see a raised note, it's already going to be dominant. It's got to be 5. Okay, got 2 options here, 5A or 5B. Because G is at the bottom, the dominant of C is G, that's just called 5A. Okay, there we go. And moving on to terms and signs. So anyone want to give me what they think the word morendo means? Dying away, Mark Kingston, correct. Okay, next one, largamente. Broadly, well done, Ladybird. Okay, I'm giving the well done. I mean, other people get the same answers as well, but I'm just shouting out the congratulations to the first person. And mesto. Maybe not quite such a well-known word. Sad. And again, that's Ladybird. Okay. I mean, you could all be sitting there with Google open. Who knows? Right. 6.2. Tick one box to name each of the two written out ornaments which are marked with brackets. Okay, so this first one here, is it an appoggiatura, an upper turn, a trill, or an upper mordent? It's a trill, correct. Oops, I just turned my pen off. And the next one, part B. It's got a lower mordent. Now a lower mordent would just be the G going back down to the F sharp and back to a G. So it needs a few more notes. No, it's got a few more notes than a lower mordent. It's you're left with a trill, an upper turn, or an accecatura. It's a turn, yeah, an upper turn. Okay, good. And who got that? Gives the congratulations, Audrey. Okay, now, orchestral instruments. Right, the flute usually plays, could you just give, because there's going to be a whole string now of trues and falses. So can you actually give me your question A, B, C, D, or E, right, for 6.3. Part A, the flute usually plays at a higher pitch than the bassoon. Okay, so Ladybird, part A is true. That is correct. Flutes are higher than bassoons. Right, part B. Start your answer with B. The trumpet is a woodwind instrument. B is false. Again, Ladybird. That's the correct answer. Okay, part C. Cymbals produce a sound of definite pitch. C is false. And it seems like it's a race now, isn't it? So Ladybird got in there first with C is false. They are indefinite pitch. The horn uses a double reed. D is false. Yep. And the mezzo-soprano has a lower range than the soprano. Anyone for E? Mezzo-soprano. You think a soprano is lower than a mezzo-soprano? Yes. E. Oh, sorry, lower range, true. Sorry, I'm not reading it carefully. You're all correct, yes. So let's make sure I don't pick up 2 pages at once, which I seem to have done. Otherwise, you miss out some questions. Now, let's put that back where you can see it on the camera. Okay. Right. Compare the following bars to the right-hand part of bar 2 of the melody and tick one correct statement. So we're talking about the right-hand part of bar 2 of the melody, this part here. Okay. The only A is correctly written 1 octave lower. 1 octave lower. Okay. So, if I put that and that note together, that's 2 octaves lower. Okay. This note is the B below middle C. Again, it's 2 octaves lower. This is the B, hang on a minute, C, E, G, B, above middle C, because middle C is here. That is an octave higher again. So that is actually correct. Okay. Only A is correctly written 1 octave lower. So only B are correctly written 1 octave lower. B and C, we already said that that is 2 octaves. A, B and C are all correctly written. We said those two. And A and B are correctly 1 octave lower. So it's actually A. Okay. A and B. Well, you see, the thing is, super foxy, okay? It says compare the following bars and then tick one correct statement. So, A and B. Oh, you mean this one here? You think that's 1 octave lower? Well, see, that's B. There's the B above middle C there. There's the B that's written here. This one is just below middle C. Okay? And then that's 2 octaves difference. So B is not an octave lower, it's 2 octaves lower. Okay. I do believe we are on the last page. So, we need to go back to the previous stage. I'm going to put this here because you need to see the part as well. Okay. The beginning of the music should be played lightly. Well, that instruction there, leggero, means lightly, so that would be true. The music ends on the subdominant chord of F sharp minor. So if you'd like to help with your answers for part B, 7.2b, right. Now it says the subdominant chord of F sharp minor. This looks like a chord of C sharp, here, E sharp, G sharp, and then another C sharp at the top. That is a dominant chord, not a subdominant chord. So that one would be false. A is true, B is false. Right, anyone want to get there before me on the third one? The largest melodic interval in the left-hand part of bar 7 is a major third. So it's just the left hand of bar 7, just this bar here. And the largest melodic interval. Okay, so we're looking for thirds. F sharp to A is a minor third. D to F sharp is a major third. And B to D is a minor third again. So this one here is a major third. And that is the biggest interval in that bar. So that one is actually, no one's got there first. It's actually true. Okay, let's concentrate. No, Ladybird, it's true. Okay, the largest melodic interval in the left-hand part of bar 7 is a major third. If you'd like to show me one that's bigger, I'll be happy to look at it. Okay, right, now D. The highest note in the music is a C sharp. Right, I am looking for something higher than a C sharp. D is false, Audrey, correct, because here I'm noticing there is a D. That's one step higher than a C sharp. So that is false. And the last question in the whole paper, the music gets quieter in bar 7. True or false? Can you prefix your answer with the letter E? Yep, maybe Audrey, you were talking about letter E, but if I don't know which question you're answering, so Ladybird gets the congratulations because you wrote an E first. That is false. The reason is this word here, crescendo. Crescendo molto, in fact. Crescendo is getting louder, yeah. Not quite loud, but getting louder. All right, now is there any, oh no, it's more questions. Okay, we're going to have to try and keep this in view. Let's move that up there. Right, so you can still see everything. Now, which instrument is best suited to play the right-hand phrase of bars 3 and 4 marked with a bracket so that it sounds at the same pitch? I think my printer chopped off the bracket that should have been there because I can see something's got a little bit chopped there. Yeah, but anyway, we are talking about that bit there. So, which instrument could play the, what's it, right-hand phrase in these two bars here? Bassoon is generally bass clef. Trombone is generally not too high. I mean, sometimes you get a little bit of treble clef in trombone, but that's getting pretty high for a trombone. Double bass obviously is bass clef. Oboe is the most reliable one that plays higher up in the treble clef. So that's an oboe part. Okay. And did anyone get that? Super Foxy put oboe. So, oh no, Ladybird put it first. Oboe is correct. Yeah, and everyone else who said oboe is correct as well. And how many times does the mediant note in the key of F sharp minor appear in the left-hand part? Right, so the mediant note of F sharp minor, anyone wants to get the answer first? 4, 5, 6 or 8. The mediant note is the third degree of the scale, which is an A. And we've got to find it in the left hand. So there's one there. And then that's D, B, E. No, there's a second one there. That's an A. There's a third one there. a fourth one there at the top of the chord, a fifth one there, a sixth one there. So the answer would be, no one got there first? No, it's not 4. I found 6. Okay, some are in just melody and some are in chords. Okay, and then finally, just moving this up so you can see this question and the answers, the passage that it refers to at the same time. Complete the following 2 sentences by adding a number to each. So bar 3 has the same rhythm and articulation. Now that's a question I've never seen before in an ABRSM exam as bar, right, so bar 3. Okay, so we've got 4 semiquavers with a slur, a staccato quaver, and then 2 semiquavers again. So the one that I can see there that would fit that is bar 2. This has the same rhythm, but a different articulation. And I suppose if you're looking at the left hand as well, that matches as well. A staccato quaver chord, quaver rest, crotchet with a tenuto, exactly the same. So that is 2. Okay, bar 2. And a couple of you have said that. Ladybird, you've said 2. So well done. And finally, is it the last question? Yeah, it seems so. There is a diminuendo in bar. Bar 5. That's correct, Audrey. It's bar 5. So that's actually quite easy. I think they give you about, does it say on the paper? I can't see it on this one. Maybe it's on the front sheet that I didn't print. An hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I can't remember. If anyone can put the information in now in the chat, how many? 2 hours. It's Ladybird, is it? Okay. So we have done it in 51 minutes, which is pretty good going. Although I would say check your work. Even if you finish it in half the time, go over it all over again. And not like me, use a pencil, not a pen, because if you do make any mistakes, you want to... No, what am I talking about? It's an online exam. You don't use a pencil on an online exam. I'm still thinking in the old type exams, so forgive that stupid comment. All right, you don't need to use a pencil because you're doing it on computer. Okay, hopefully that has been helpful to some of you, and good luck if you're doing your exams. I think there's an online exam coming up on the 10th of November. So anyone doing it on that time, good luck to you. And if you have any more questions about anything in this particular stream that we've done, put them in the comments below, because I'm going to close the chat now as we close the video. All right, but if you have any further questions, then please do ask by putting it in the comments section below. Right, I'm just going to find where I can close this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all. Okay. They've changed the whole YouTube studio control room for live streams, and I don't know how to stop the video. So let's see. Can we stop it? Yep.